And we're ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. You're on.
Good morning, everyone. So we are going to get started with Ignite. It is the first day of Ignite. And by it, well, I'm not seeing very many faces. So I'm assuming everybody on here hasn't taken the class before. So what we're going to do is today it's all about your database. And I am going to, whoops. Um, Robert, I need to share my screen.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Thank you. Okay, I think I can share my screen now. Okay, perfect. Okay, so today we are going to get into talking about working in our database and what that means. So, hold on 1 second. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make very good use of your time today for two reasons. One, I just got back from a mini vacation yesterday, so I'm playing catch up after being gone for 5 days. And two, I do have an appointment straight up at 12:15, so we're gonna probably wrap up here between probably 11:20 and 11:30. So that way you guys won't be on for a full 2 hours. Now, for those of you that have never taken Ignite before, this is going to be really kind of a high-paced, intense few weeks for you all as you finish out the rest of the year. So this is kind of the end of the year push for each and every one of us. And this is really setting us up for success for 2021. I know that many of us want to get out of 2020 as rapidly as possible, so we are going to talk about that. So I'm going to move through some of this stuff very, very quickly, so that way we can get to the meat of this and why I'm teaching this segment about how to work your database, because I've been now selling real estate for 14 years and going on 14 years, and this is how I get a bulk of my business. So we are going to be going over through Ignite. You're going to be talking about several things: the self-mastery, the 80-20 principle. E to P is moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. And essentially what that means is we all have a level of achievement within each and every one of us where we can just kind of be entrepreneurial and do our own thing. But there's going to be a point where you're just going to kind of keep hitting this ceiling, and you're just going to keep bumping into it, and you're going to keep bumping and coming down and bumping and coming down. So what it means to go from entrepreneurial to purposeful is how to take that and break through that ceiling and go beyond that. And that's the things that you're going to be learning through being in Ignite. We're also going to, you're also going to make a commitment to being learning based in this class, and that you are going to be open to the things that you're learning. We are not going to be focused on our limiting beliefs. We all have them, including myself, the leadership in the market center. We all have limiting beliefs. It doesn't mean that you're going to be bad at real estate. It just means we need to work through all of our limiting beliefs. And you know, some of your limiting beliefs in business might be that you're going to be failing at this business, or in your health, that you can never have a six pack if you truly want one. Well, you can have all those things. You just have to believe that you want them. And then you also have to be willing to learn to be accountable. To get the most from Ignite, you're going to want to take action. There's going to be some expectations in this class. You're going to be needing note cards. Note cards are huge, guys, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that as we go through Ignite. And then we're going to be skipping some of this stuff, but the whole point of Ignite is your daily 10-4, and that is to add 10 new contacts a day to your database, speak with at least 10 people in your database, write 10 notes per day, and preview 10 homes a week. And I know it's getting a little bit more challenging to go preview homes during the week because of COVID. Make it a point to do that if you can. If there's agents that are allowing you to preview property, you can always, I always tell people, even if I don't have a client looking at a specific home or in a specific area, but I'm just really trying to get my previews in right now, is I'm previewing for one of my clients. Do you mind? Right now, agents are likely to let you into the home just to preview a property because they want to keep as many people out of the home that aren't serious. And then this gives you a real opportunity to do a few things later on that we're going to talk about when it comes to your social media aspect of growing your database. So previewing those 10 homes is going to be really important. Adding 10 new contacts to your database, however you choose to get those. Like I said, the reason that, by the way, for those of you that I can see your face, can you raise my hand if you can hear me okay? Or raise your hand, you can, okay. There's only 2 of you that I saw that raise your hand, so good. You're gonna, the whole goal is to add 10 new contacts a day. And like I said, I get that through my database. And I'm gonna talk to you about some of the things that I'm doing. Speaking with 10 people. We're in an age full of technology. And so speaking with 10 people to me either means, you know, actually talking to 10 people on the telephone. It can mean sending 10 text messages and having text message conversations. It can mean sending Facebook messages to people back and forth, LinkedIn messages. It can also mean doing emails as well, you know, back and forth email exchange. My whole goal is, you know, back when I got at KW, if you didn't actually talk to someone or you didn't talk to somebody on the phone, it never counted. Well, we live in an age of technology, and especially right now, we're able to connect with people so many more ways. We're able to connect with people over on Zoom. We're able to connect with people on text messages, through telephones. So that becomes important. And then writing 10 notes every single day. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. Right now, one of the things I'm going to do is I've got 120 Thanksgiving cards. I've also got 120 New Year's cards, and we're going to talk about that because it's getting to be that time of the year where you're going to be wanting to send out your cards. So these are going to be the things that you want. And your note cards, guys, don't have to be anything in particular with what you say. It can just be something as simple as, I was thinking about you. But now, because you have Thanksgiving right around the corner, it's a perfect opportunity to send a Thanksgiving card to your clients or database. So I want you to just think about that. And they're very on Amazon. There is a tracker on my on daily104.com where you can keep track of all your note cards, your previews, and the number of people that you've talked to throughout Ignite. So when you go to daily104.com, you can get that set up as well. On page 37, how to use scripts, I'm going to have you guys watch that video on your own. We're not going to be doing any of that in this class right now because we have such a limited amount of time, and I want to be able to get you guys to get as much done and as much value from this class as possible. So if you guys would watch that and go over the scripts in the book, okay? On page 41, you're going to have some practice scripts over there. And so take some time out to do that. The other thing that I would encourage you to do in this class is to get to know some of the people within this class via Zoom. We can hook you up with a script practicing partner if you would like to do that. And then what you want to do with those scripts is really learn to internalize them to make sure that you kind of make them your own. I always tell people I was never really a huge script fan when I got into this business because I felt like it sounded a little too not authentic and contrived, right? And so one of the things that helped me get over that really quickly was you've got certain kinds of scripts in every job that you have, right? So you've got when you really think about this, you have an opportunity to make $15 an hour scripts or learn $15 an hour scripts, or you've got the opportunity to make $485 an hour scripts. It's just completely your choice. So your $485 scripts, those are going to be the scripts that you're going to be learning in Ignite. They're going to be the ones that you're going to focus on to help you move a client along or to dig deeper to help them solve a problem within this business. Your $15 an hour scripts go something like this. Welcome to Burger King, may I take your order? Those are a nice $15 an hour script. Another $15 an hour script is, would you like fries with that? So those are some really good $15 an hour scripts. And those are the ones that you get to choose whether or not you want to know. And so I would encourage you to get to know your scripts. So it's completely up to you, whatever you want to do. Within your daily 10-4, you're going to want to write personal notes, right? And like I said, these personal notes don't have to be anything prolific. It can just be something as simple as, hey, I was just thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. When the pandemic started, here, we were encouraged to what we were told to do is make care calls. And what those were is just checking in on people, leaning into people, asking them if there was anything that you could do for them. And, in some cases, one of the big things that happened, and you guys all know this, is after the pandemic started, we had a hard time finding toilet paper. So literally, I was always going out looking for toilet paper for some of my clients, and I have a couple clients who just didn't have toilet paper. So I was able to get like a 30-pack, one 30-pack, when it was just empty over at Smart and Final. I put it on Facebook, but people needed toilet paper that day. Thank God they're all broken up into 6-packs. I was able to get toilet paper to some of my clients. So it's stuff like that. None of this has to be massive, but you want to just come from contribution, come from, being what in Keller Williams we call from the servant's heart. So you just want to make sure that as you are doing this, that you're really providing value to your clients. And it's not only real estate, right? We're in a very weird time right now. Look, we're voting for the next president today. It could get even weirder. So you just want to make sure that that you're focused on coming from contribution. Being accountable. The book, The One Thing, what is the one thing you can do such that by doing everything else will become easy or unnecessary? So for me, we're in Keller Williams, as we do business planning, we talk about a GPS. What is your one big overall goal? How many units do you want to close? What's the volume look like? How much commission do you want to make? Well, then what are the steps that you're going to take to get there? And so we come up with those 3 priorities on what we're going to do. And a big part of this is going to be my database. My other one other part is social media, and we'll go over that a little bit because that all ties into the database. And then I have another leg of my business that I'm working on as well. Live by your calendar. This is very simple. The biggest reason why people fail and don't do well is because they don't live by their calendar. It's very simple. I've got mine on my phone. I've got it in my Google Calendar. I have my assistant that can schedule appointments and things for me. So you want to make sure that you're absolutely 100% living by your calendar. As a W-2 employee, if you didn't show up to work, what would happen? You wouldn't have a job. Same thing kind of happens in real estate. If you're not going to show up for your job, you're not going to have any clients. If you're not going to have any clients, you're not going to have any closings. If you're not going to have any closings, you're not going to have a car and a house and vacations and all those fun things that you want to go on. So you want to make sure that you live by your calendar. And so that's all about time blocking in your calendar. And we can go more into that later. But like I said, I want to get to the good stuff in the meat. So please make sure that you read this. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get an accountability partner within the group and someone that you can report to. I know most of you who are new, you have coaches. We have some very great coaches in this office. You want somebody that's going to hold you accountable to a higher level to make sure what you're doing is moving yourself forward. There is an agreement and expectations along with this class. I'll let you guys go over that. And we are going to go get ready. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Now we're going to get into the crux of the class. Except all my stuff. Hold on one sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm getting there. Everything prepared, and then all of a sudden it went away. Let me just find an email from Eve. And that wasn't the entire session one, I don't think. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll wing it.
What do you need, Chris?
You know what? I need the entire manual. It was supposed to be given to me.
There's a link in that email.
Well, I got a completely different email from you guys, and that link didn't work. So, anyway, all right. Well, I'm just gonna wing it.
I'll find it and drop it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, let's talk about working with, let's talk for a second about working with your database. One of the things that we really want to do is we want to make sure that as we're beginning to work with our database that we have mind share, right? And so there's multiple companies that do this when they when they want to make you think of them the most. So let's think, for example, Amazon. How many of you in this chat room have bought something on Amazon in the last, I don't know, day or so? Raise of hands if you've bought something on Amazon recently. Boy, none of you are showing your faces. Okay, great. This is going to go really well. So what happens when you go and buy something on Amazon, right? There's several things that happen.
Chris, hold on. You guys, what would really help is if you all participated with your video in the class, so it's helpful for the instructor. So if you guys can please turn on your videos, that would be very great because it shows how you're participating in the class. We love to see pretty faces.
Yeah, otherwise I'm just going to cut this real short. So then one of the things, what happens after you get, after you order something from Amazon? There's a number of things that happen. Hold on. Oh, look, I got it. 70 pages. Perfect. Robert, I got it. You don't have to do anything else. I'll make this painless on everyone. So why don't we go to page...
And I dropped that manual in the chat box as well as the script booklet. And I'll be dropping a few other things in there as well.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to go to page, I'm getting there. And this is what happens when you go away for a 5-day vacation and we're the first one to teach a class. Yeah, this is not the book.
What's the label of it?
Hold on.
You want the database one, correct?
Yes, please.
That one's been dropped in the chat box.
Okay.
And that's for everybody in the class as well, too. So you guys will see the script booklet, the database booklet for today's session, as well as the Ignite toolkit.
Okay. All right, let me see. Okay. Yeah, this isn't it. All right. This has none of the, hold on.
Are you wanting the workbook or are you wanting the,
I want the workbook, but I'm just gonna wing it. So, um, yeah. All right, we're just gonna wing it, guys. I'll make it happen. Don't worry about it, Robert.
and everybody, I dropped the wrong database PDF in there, so please don't use that one. I will drop the correct one in.
I got it. Okay. All right. So if you guys are in Ignite, it should be Power Session 2. We're going to go to page 15. You guys all have that? Can I get a thumbs up if you've got Ignite Power Session 2, page 15? Are you there? Awesome. Okay. So anyway, as we were talking before, if you go and buy something on Amazon, what they're going to do is they're not only going to send you emails about your order that you just got, but they're also going to be sending you suggestions of things, right? Other companies do this too, like Target, for example. This summer, I ordered a rug on Target. The rug that I ordered on Target, I ended up getting it, and now I'm constantly, I don't know why they keep sending it to me, but I'm constantly getting more offers to buy rugs on target.com, which is not something that I need because I just spent $175 on a new rug for my living room. So one of the things that they do is they go through and they take your likes and dislikes. And then have you ever seen something, if you go to look for a pair of shoes that follows you on the internet for like 24 or 48 or 72 hours? That's kind of what we want to do with your real estate clients. And we do that through Mindshare. And so stores like Bed Bath & Beyond, grocery stores, they use this, they use sort of like coupons and stuff like that to get you drawn back into the store. Bed Bath & Beyond is very good at that, where they use you and they push out these 10% coupons, right? That, let me see if this one is going to be the correct database thing, because I want to show you guys something instead of me just talking, but let's see. Oh, this might actually be the right one. Oh, it is. Haha. Okay. We'll do this. Share. Perfect. So companies do this because they want you to continue to keep coming back to them. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're actually doing the same thing. So let's move on to page 16 move on to page 16. Can anyone unmute themselves? By the way, this is a participatory class. This isn't just me talking. And tell me what a targeted marketing campaign is. Anyone?
Targeting marketing campaign?
Mm-hmm.
That would be basically your the group that you focus in on, that you would like to either prospect or, I guess, put your energy towards so that you could gain insight or clients from them.
Yeah, it's like a niche, right? So targeted marketing is going to first identify specific segments of an overall market, and then tailor the message and the habits to their preferences. So for example, if you are working with buyers, right, or first-time buyers, you want to make sure that your message is tailored to them. You don't want to go and send your messaging of first-time buyers to sellers. Okay, because sellers aren't interested in first-time buyers, right? They're not those people. They have already been that. So what you want to do is you want to cater all your messaging to being the person that is going to make sure that your niche gets what they want. So for example, a very detailed target marketing, let's go back to Target. For those of you that have never heard this story before, Target is a master at target marketing. And so for example, what happened probably about 6 or 7 years ago is Target started sending emails and email notifications to this young girl who was 16 or 17 years old, I think, for ads for baby formula, diapers, baby clothes, and all those things. Well, this girl's father found out that Target was doing this and got really bananas upset at Target for doing this. And why are you sending my daughter all of this stuff? Well, it turns out Mr. Dad was about to be a grandpa and he didn't know it yet. And his teenage daughter did not tell him that he was about to be a grandpa. But what happened was, because her habits were such that she was looking at diapers, baby clothes, car seats, and all those things on Target.com, it started catering the advertising of those products to this 17-year-old. And Target outed his daughter that she was actually pregnant. We kind of want to do something like that on your level, but we want to make sure that we're doing it a little bit more subtly. Another example is I used to get, I had a lead source where I do a lot of divorces. I work with a lot of divorcing couples, and I ended up calling this couple because I got a lead, and I called and this woman answered, and I started talking to her about her divorce, and she said, "Oh, I'm not getting divorced." And I'm like, you might not know right now. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't kind of spring it on somebody like that, but that's kind of what target marketing is. So how, let's talk about this on page 16. So on page 16, it says, for example, the company Glashau began to market its vitamin-enriched water to men and women between the ages of 18 and 49 who indicated that they were interested in health and fitness. Because of this target marketing, the Glashau Smart Water brand grew approximately 28% in less than a year. Companies are after data, and Gary Keller talks about that all the time. Companies are collecting data on you like you would not believe, which is why Command was developed. Command was developed so that way we as real estate agents could collect as much data as we could on our clients. We want to collect as much data as we can so we can target and market those areas. So for example, within our database, I've been doing this for 14 years now. So I don't just send out blanket emails to everybody else. I know a lot of people talk about doing an email, like a video email to your database about just one topic, or you're sending recipes or something like that. Those things aren't very effective. Those might make your clients think about you, but if you're not providing them that value, then it's not going to work. So for example, if you're going to go send a market report to somebody who lives in Rancho Penasquitos, but you send them a market report from North Park, what good does that do them, right? You want to focus on those areas. So if part of your database management system and part of your 36 to connect is to send out a market report, then you're going to want to send out individual market reports to those people that are in specific areas. So I'm not going to send my RPQ people a report from North Park and vice versa, right? I might only send out 4 market reports to North Park, and I might send 8 out to Rancho Penasquitos and 2 out to Ramona, right? We want to make sure that we're targeting these people. So it's going to take a little bit more time, but it's going to show your clients that you're a professional and you're giving them the value that they need, right? So let's move on and talk a little bit about your database. So your database. Does anybody want to read what a database is?
Sure, I'll definitely do it for you, Mr. Spade.
Oh,
What is a database? Actually, your database is your business, a tool that safely stores customer and prospect contact information, which is regularly updated with new details and events, can be organized and sorted as needed, and is continually added to in order to increase your business.
exactly. And so I know right underneath it, it says your database on steroids is edge. That is not the case anymore. We now use command. So we don't use edge anymore. As we've converted over to command. And everybody keeps asking me, do you like command? Does command work for you? I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook dealing with command. And the answer to my question is your database is only as good as the amount of effort that you actually put into it. Does command have glitches? Yes, it absolutely has glitches because it's still brand new, but it's free to you. It's the one I use because I found that I can tailor my business to my database, and it's extremely helpful. So I would highly recommend that you use it. I would also recommend, if you're not already a part of it or you didn't know about it until this second, there is a Facebook group called Command Your Conversion on Facebook. Just ask to be a part of that group and they will put you in. You just have to answer a couple of questions, but it's everything you've ever wanted to know about Command. How to work your database, how to post Facebook ads, how to do a video, how to do whatever it is you want to do in there. It's absolutely fantastic. But essentially, your database on steroids being command, a database is simply this: an automated system designed to work with the contacts in your database and your KW websites to help you generate business online and offline with set and go marketing campaigns and more. And that's basically what it is. Your database being your most valuable asset. It's much more than a list of contacts. This is what I want you guys to understand. It's actually a living, breathing record of all your relationships. And here's another thing that I want you guys to know is in Command, there's different what we call smart plans to help you stay in contact with your database. Within those smart plans, there are tons and tons of my clients who have opted out of things like text messages. That's okay. Don't get upset. Like this weekend, I have like a bunch of my database, my sphere of influence on a smart plan, and they have opted out of getting automated text messages from me. That's okay. Do not get frustrated when they do that. That doesn't mean that they're not going to do business with you anymore. Okay. Your database is a tool to nurture and manage those relationships, to schedule and track every interaction you have with each person in it. Your well-tended database produces leads. A powerful database managed by a powerful schedule, remember we talked about a schedule at the beginning of this, produces a predictable flow of leads. And from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business. Now, I know Stephen talks about this a lot in scripts class with you. Boy, I'm looking at most of you and you're either yawning or falling asleep. I must be extremely enlightening right now. So let's talk on page 18. And you guys are going to have to participate in this. But according to the National Association of Realtors, 2014 survey, it says 88% of clients would use their agent again, but only 12% do. Why is that?
Contacts.
Follow up.
Follow up.
That follow up. And if your clients use another agent, whose fault is that? Is it your client's fault or is it your fault?
Your fault.
Yeah, exactly. So on average, people are going to move 10 times, or excuse me, on average, people are going to move once every 10 years. So if you stay in this business for 30 years and you build yourself up a pretty good database, you can expect that each one of your clients that you sold to within your first year is going to move in year 10, which means you can build up a pretty good database and have yourself a really good business. Now, let me tell you a story. It doesn't matter how much you keep in touch with your database, and I don't want you to get frustrated about this, but it doesn't really matter how much you keep in touch with them. You are going to 100% lose business out of your database. It just happened to me, and I just found out about it. And it's happened to me in the past. So my very, very, very first client I ever sold a house to ended up selling it with a different agent. It was 100% my fault because I didn't keep in touch with them enough. From that day forward, I vowed that I would keep in touch with each and every one of my clients. And I have from that day forward. So for the last 13 years, I have kept in touch with every one of my clients. Let me also tell you that even though I've kept in touch with every one of my clients over the last 13 years, I have still lost business. For example, two of my clients, they're related, they're sisters. One of them, I sold them their house. They ended up selling it with Redfin because they thought I was too much. That will happen to you. The second one, we did 3 real estate transactions, and then a friend of hers got her real estate license, and because they're best friends, she ended up selling her house with her best friend. Believe me, it didn't go very well, and I heard all about it later. And that best friend, I know, and I thought it was really tacky that that happened, but it's going to. It just recently happened. I sold a house to this couple 3 years ago. And as I was sending out my latest info and my latest update, like I do all the time, and believe me, I text them and call these people, not a word from them in 3 years. Well, it popped up that they bought a new house and they sold the house I sold to them. So regardless of whether or not you're actually keeping in touch with all these people, you're still going to lose business. And I don't want you to get overly discouraged with that. You got to pick yourself up and you got to move back on. Although it really does sting when it was $1.5 million in transactions. It's going to sting. I guarantee you it sucks. But what I want you guys to do is get over it, not focus on that, and focus on the business that you have. And then I'm going to give you an example of how it worked very, very well. One of my clients, I sold them a house. It was probably 2010 or 2012. Again, another example, keeping in touch. Didn't hear a word from these people in years. I'm talking years. Probably 8 years. And all of a sudden, randomly, I'm getting out of my chiropractor's appointment and my clients call me and they're like, hey, we need to sell our house and we already found a house we want to buy. Can you help us? So that kind of stuff is going to happen to you too. Another example of that is about 2.5 weeks ago, I was on another little mini vacation out of town and I got an email from one of my clients who I have legit not talked to since 2013. She has not returned one text message, not one email, not one phone call, not come to one of my client appreciation parties, not one. But I have kept in touch with her every single month since 2013. I'm taking her brother out to go buy houses because she connected me with her brother. So we're going out today to go buy houses. So just because you're not hearing from your clients doesn't mean your clients aren't remembering you with all the things that you're doing. So please make sure that you're still keeping in touch with them. Okay, does anyone have any questions so far? No? Yes? Anyone?
No.
So I guess it would be similar to the other day, Broker Bob. He kind of said something, and he can correct me, but it kind of aligns with what you're saying, Chris. If it doesn't affect you, I think he said in 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 decades, don't worry about it. Is that right, Broker Bob?
Exactly. If your client, and trust me, your clients are not, if you're keeping in touch with them, they're not going to forget about you, but just get over the ones that do, because trust me, that's going to happen too. And then here's the other thing I want you to remember. not every client is worth working with again, because some of them you are going to be like, thank God I'm done working with you. Go away. I never want to hear from you again. You're going to rip them out of your database and you'll be fine with that. So I want you to be okay with that. Does everyone have a piece of paper? Everyone.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what I want you guys to do is I want to talk to you for a quick second. We're going to get into some fun stuff right now because it's 10:41. And what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of a referral and why I end up teaching this part of the class. And so normally I diagram this on a board, but since I can't do it on Zoom, what I would like for you guys to do is I would like for you guys to put, I'm going to diagram the power of a referral. So somewhere on your paper, it doesn't matter where, you can start in the middle. But I would like you to write the names Kim and Barb and put a circle around it. So Kim and Barb are an example of where we're going to start this story about referrals. So Barb was somebody in my previous life before I became a real estate agent. I used to work at I was a journalist, so I worked at a few television stations and a radio station. I covered the news. And Barb was one of my former coworkers. And once I left my last television job, Barb was like, oh, keep in touch, you know, you're fun to hang out with, blah, 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 blah. So her and her partner, Kim, decided one day they wanted to buy a house. So I sold them a house, okay? So now what I want you to do is put a little hashtag or a one mark, put a one, not a hashtag, but a one, because we're gonna keep track of the number of people. So I sold Barb and Kim their house, and then Barb and Kim referred me to my client, Carrie. So just do an offshoot from Barb and Kim and circle Carrie. And so I ended up selling Carrie a house. Oh, by the way, when Barb and Kim referred me to Carrie, Carrie was already working with a real estate agent that that wasn't returning her phone calls. That wasn't being very helpful to her. And she was somebody that just got really fed up and called me. And then I ended up selling Carrie a house. Oh, by the way, the real estate agent she was working with, I know personally in the community, just from the community. But you know what? Too bad, so sad. She wasn't paying attention to her clients and she wasn't doing her job. Carrie then refers me to Alex Epstein. So just draw a shoot from Carrie down to Alex, and then that's number 3, right? Alex then refers me to her girlfriend at the time, Adrian, to buy a house. So now we're up to 4. Carrie also refers me this other woman named Lisa Scavello. So do an offshoot from Carrie and put Lisa. So that's 5 transactions. Now that originally came from Kim and Barb. Kim and Barb also then referred me to Terry and Chris, and I sell their house. That was a short sale. Oh, by the way, the agent that sold Terry and Chris that house originally was the same agent that Carrie was working with, but again, wasn't paying attention to the fact that they needed to sell their house and wasn't returning her phone calls, so I ended up selling the house. Now, this is the point where we get to where Kim and Barb end up getting split up. So we're going to add another ticker on there. So now we're up to 7 transactions because Kim and Barb split up. But then Kim goes and ends up getting into a relationship with Dr. Diane. So you can do another offshoot of that. So now we're up to 8 transactions. Well, Terry and Chris I end up selling their house. They end up splitting up. But Chris's daughter, Jamie, is fed up with her agent because that agent isn't doing their job. So I sell Jamie a house. So now we're up to 9 transactions. But then a couple years later, Jamie decides that she's going to sell her house. So now we're up to 10 transactions. And then Jamie goes ahead and she buys another duplex. So I've done 3 transactions with Jamie. Well, Terry and Chris split up. So then Chris ends up buying a house from me. And then Chris and Jamie, because they're mom and daughter, refer me to their daughter slash sister, April, who I end up selling a house. So now we're up to 11, 12 houses right there. Now, plot twist, April and Chris, mom and daughter, are planning right now, we're in the process of getting ready to list both their houses, and they're going to buy a duplex together. So that's going to be 3 transactions right there. Those have not happened yet, but they are in the works. So now we're up to, wait, what are we up to? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're up to almost 17 transactions right there. Then, I'm trying to think. Oh, Jamie refers me to Don and his wife to sell their condo. So now that's 18 transactions. I'm trying to think more, but you get the point. In 12 years, out of just this one referral from Kim and Barb, I've done approximately 18 transactions. So that is the power of referrals, and that is the power of staying in contact with your clients. Do you guys have any questions from this?
I do.
Yeah.
So being that we're in a pandemic, how do we get new clients? I just moved here a few months before the shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I can count on one hand the number of people I know.
Uh-huh.
So that's my question. How do we acquire database material in the pandemic?
So are you looking to grow your database through your sphere of influence, or are you looking to do cold calling?
I just don't know how to meet individuals to turn them into leads, to add them to a database.
Okay, so one thing that I would do 2 things. There is this thing, and you can go to networkmarketingpro.com. And there's this thing you can get, and it's called the Ultimate Memory Jogger. It looks like this. And it's this huge thing, right? It's just this huge thing. And what it's going to do is it's going to take you through here. So for example, it's going to give you instructions to basically, you know, how to do this. But on the first page, it says this easy memory jogger will help you create an initial list of key friends, business contacts, and others to share your product opportunity so you can kickstart your business. And it's literally going to go down the list. So it doesn't matter. Keep in mind, you just moved here. That's okay. Where did you move from?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So you're not very far. You're up the road, right? My guess is that you have family, correct?
Not really.
You don't have any family?
No.
You mean at all, or just in San Diego?
That would participate in, I have a schizophrenic sister.
Oh, I think I do too. So yeah. So, all right. So, do you have friends?
In Los Angeles and other parts of the country.
That's absolutely fine. Do you think that those people that live in Los Angeles, and do you think those people that live in other parts of the country own houses?
Yeah, I mean, I've essentially added 10 people to my database right now, and they're homeowners, they're neighbors I've recently met, and potential clients. You know.
Okay, but let's just go back to your friends right now. Okay, do you think your friends, you have friends in Los Angeles who own homes, or other parts of the country that they own homes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you think that those people that you are those potential people that you could add to your database? Yes or no? Even though you live in San Diego.
I added the ones I thought were potential clients so far. I have 10.
Okay. But do they live just in San Diego, or do they live
No,
in
no,
other
they're
parts?
also in, they're people I know who would be potential clients despite their addresses.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. So with that, the reason I'm digging down and questioning her more is because if those people own houses in other parts of the country, that's okay, because you can refer them other agents and you can make what's called mailbox money or referral money. So before my sister-in-law got her license in Minnesota, I had everybody I knew in Minnesota in my database, because it didn't matter when they were ready to buy a house or sell a house. They would call me first. I would hook them up with an agent in Minnesota, and then I would collect a referral fee on that. And you can make a lot of money doing that. That's how you start doing that, right? The other thing that you can do is that you can build your business by doing agent to agent networking, which is another thing that I do. I just focus on one group of people that I build my network with. So it doesn't matter whatever your niche is. It could be language, right? Like if you speak, we used to have an agent in this office who spoke Polish, and she would focus on her church. That's it. She didn't go anywhere else. She just moved here, like yourself, didn't know anyone else. She speaks Polish. She went to her Polish church, and she built her entire database around that, and that's all she did.
All right.
There's this will go through, like, for example, your holiday card list, your cell phone contact list. I bet you've got 3,000 people in your cell phone that know somebody that lives in San Diego County. I bet you could probably easily fill up 100 people just by calling to find out if they knew anybody that lived here. Business cards list, social media. You definitely have to go find more friends, right?
Yeah.
Facebook,
So my
LinkedIn.
question was really, in a pandemic, how do I do this?
You can do it. There's still meetups happening online. You can do that. So you can go to meetup.com and find out what type of meetups are happening online. One of the things that I've done is I've taught cooking classes online. So I've done cooking classes from my kitchen, and people have joined, they've gotten the recipe, and I've just gotten to know people that way. I've done that multiple times, and that's been fun. The other thing that you can do is, and I mean, people are kind of psycho on Nextdoor, but you can really find a lot of people on Nextdoor and start working it that way.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I do that too. I do a lot on social media. So Nextdoor, I just find absolutely amusing. And I've put people in my database just from like really ridiculous posts that people, and I just start commenting. So I'll tell you a quick story. This one person posted this story on Nextdoor where they wanted to know if they could file a noise complaint with the San Diego Police Department because their neighbor was having extremely loud sex. And so everybody was going through this this post on Nextdoor, and they were like, "Get a life. Maybe you need some. Maybe you should get some," and going on and on and on and on. And it just ended up being this comedy. And I, was like a bottle of wine in, starting to chit chat with people. But I got to know a lot of people on Nextdoor, right? And so that can be very helpful. How do you participate in community events that are still taking place, that are socially distant community events? Another thing, for example, that I've become very vocal and very passionate about is how they're going to take over 400 parking spaces away along 30th Street. There's people with opinions up and down the street that can do that. In the middle of the pandemic, you can use your social media contacts and you can reach out to businesses. Now, I do a lot on social media. And we can talk about that in detail another time, but that's a big thing that I do to get people into my database. That's how I get business.
So you did answer my question pretty well. Thank you.
Okay. But what you want to do is you want to go through this ultimate memory jogger, because you're going to start looking at all these things, and you're going to figure out who you know and where they live. And then you're going to start making a list of all those people, and then you're going to slowly start putting them into your database. Okay. Anyone else have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm really good at talking to people on social media, but I'm just curious, how do you get those people that you're commenting and like joking around with? How do you get that person in your database? Like, what do you say? Like, can I add you to my database or?
Here's the thing. Social media is a little bit different. You don't necessarily, so this is what you do on social media. Let me show you. You create your own database in Facebook. So this is, do you guys know about friends lists? No. Okay, so friends list, these are all my friends lists right here. Okay, so what I've done is I've created this list of people, right? So I've got my past clients here. And it's a custom list of people. Now I've only dropped 23 people in there because I've got them in a different one. But what I do is every single day I go to my list and I start at the top and I go all the way down and I start going through. So like my dinner invite list, I'll go through here and Monty. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm about to have the best 4 years of my life, no matter what happens tomorrow. Ending. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to break your friends list up, and you're going to break it up into your best friends, right? Then you're going to break it up into your A, B, and C clients, or you just name them whatever you want to name these people. So I've got 211 people on this list. These are the people that if I was having a dinner party and I needed someone to fill a seat, these would be the people that I would kind of slide into that place. Now, Monty is somebody that I met up in LA. He's decided to go on this spiritual journey in Guatemala over the next 4 years. So he's kind of given up his gig in LA and he's doing that. And so what I do is I go through, oh God. Now this is just a shining example. So Matthew, for example, is one of my contacts that was in my Chamber of Commerce. I used to be the president of the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. Matthew was part of that, and he is clearly a hater of Eric Trump. Ha, 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 ha. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go through and comment on everything, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that they see you. You want to make sure that they know you exist, right? Now, the cool thing about Matthew is he is also a landscape architect. So I've referred him business. He's referred me business. And so these are the people that you're just going to break these up into lists. The other thing that you do is now I've got 211 people on this list, right? So what I'm going to do is I can make a post here. I can create some sort of post. And this post will only go out to those 211 people on my list. So the chances of it getting seen are going to be much better. So if you want to post a specific real estate thing on there, this is how you get people into your realm. You post pretty pictures of things, and then people are going to start asking you, and they're going to start remembering you. And that's how you do it. So you're creating a database out of your Facebook contacts. You don't necessarily need to have them in your command database as long as you're working them here. Because remember we said you can work with them on the phone, text message, or Facebook Messenger. So it's all of those. Like one day, Monty was asking, he said, I need a very good looking male real estate agent that works in Southern California. Monty used to work in television. I was like, well, hey, jerk, I work, you know, hello, pick me. And he was like, duh. So what I do is I go through all of this. Oh, so here's Monty with his cat that, well, it's not his cat. He's in Guatemala, so he didn't take his cat. But and then Eric, for example, Eric used to be an agent in our office, and now Eric is an actor in LA. So these are just people I keep I just keep in touch with. You know, Charles, somebody I work out with, Patty LaBelle and Kamala in Philadelphia last night. So you just want to, what you want to do is you want to comment on people's stuff. You want to stay in front of them. The thing about Facebook is, you know, in this book that you guys have got, we talk about a 36 touch or a 36 to connect. You can connect with your friends on social media 365 days a year, and they're not going to think it's creepy. Because if you are posting valuable content on your Facebook and social media page, and by the way, I don't mean valuable content by like real estate stuff all the time. You want to post stuff about your dog, the cool places you're eating, how this restaurant is surviving the pandemic, where you can buy hand sanitizer if it's, you know, because it's been out for so long, or you know, people are talking about another toilet paper shortage coming because Corona cases are going up. You want to be that person that is going to be able to provide the value to your clients. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to break it up. You want to break your friends list up. And so then these are places like Hardcore is my gym, my sphere, my influencers. This, if you take a class called, there's a MAPS fast track coaching class called Never Ending Referrals. They teach you about breaking up your database into 13 weeks. So every 13 weeks, you're reaching out to people. So if your week is A and W, you go to the A and W section. So we saw Jason because his last name is W. Chaz is a past client of mine. And Chaz, by the way, is an absolute Trump hater. You know, you just keep in touch with these people this way, and he's referred me business. In BTW, several of his former employees are now real estate agents, and he and his partner chose me to sell their house. So you got to keep in mind, somebody's always going to know some sort of real estate agent, but what you have to remember is it's not just, you know, don't worry about that, because 9 times out of 10, you may get chosen just because they don't want to have to deal with, you know, their best friend selling their house. So don't ever worry about that. Chris Wynn happens to be an out-of-town agent. Hector, another out-of-town agent. I network with a lot of out-of-town agents. Devon, I work out with her. So you just want to keep in, oh, look, see, this is how much he hates Trump. So we're going to give him a ha-ha. He absolutely hates Trump. The other thing is about politics. You know, there's going to be a lot of people telling you, don't post anything political on Facebook. I wouldn't say I post anything political, but most of my stuff is, you don't know the line I cross. But I also think, like, right now, you're going to want to post whatever you want to post, because people will tell you you're going to alienate 46% of the population because of the political posts you're putting on Facebook. I say screw that. There's still 54% of the people that agree with you. Or if you're in that 46%, you've got 46% of the people that agree with you. I don't want to work with somebody I don't want to work with. I'm teaching you how to work with people you're going to want to work with. Okay. So break up your friends list into into however you want to. So, like, you know, this, I broke it up. Someone taught me how to do this. The chef's list is somebody I definitely am going to have at my dinner table, a dinner regular. They're going to be the person that I'm going to have over to my dinner party if I have a bigger dinner party. And the dinner invite, those are going to be the ones that I'm going to use to fill in the seats if somebody can't come. These are some organizations I belong to. I've divided this list up. I would divide your list up into these letters. My allied resources. These are all my lenders, my title reps, my home warranty people. All of these people you keep in touch with as well. You get you can work on getting business from them. Oh, look, Araceli, I love this. So you just want to make sure that you just want to make sure that you keep in touch with them, and this is the easiest way that you can do it, right? And you can also expect, by the way, if you're doing this right, that you will get business from your lender. I just got 3 referrals in the last 2 weeks from a lender. 3. So you're just moving here right now. You can get business from your lenders as well, but you just have to know how to do it. Any questions? Anyone? I hear an airplane going over someone's head. Okay. All right, let's move on. Moving on to page 22. Let's go back to that if I can get back there. I don't know what happened to page 22. Let's get back here. Okay. So what you want to do, let's talk about meeting people, because this is what was your name? Lee?
Lee, yes.
Lee. Okay. Lee had asked the question, sources of haven't met. So these are people that you haven't met. Your neighborhood geographic farm. That's a good one. Oh, by the way, if you guys have dogs, I want to get a dog. I've wanted a dog for a long time. One of the best places to network is the dog park, the dog beach. Walking your dog. It is one of the best places to meet people on the planet. Get your dog out, take them for walks. That is amazing. I'm planning on getting a dog, and I'm going to get a corgi, and I'm going to name him Otis. And when I get Otis and I are going to be out every freaking where, and I am going to use that dog to just go bananas when it comes to networking. So do that. Sports teams, we're not really doing that right now, but when, we get a vaccine and we can be more, get to know people more, that would be the place to go. Houses of worship, we talked about that, like one of our agents who spoke Polish. Clubs or organizations. This is where I was the president of the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. So I got a lot of people that I met from there. LinkedIn contacts are very good. Do you guys have LinkedIn profiles? You want to go there. See what you can do to network with certain people throughout your LinkedIn contacts. Who are the people that you can offer value to? Here's an example of one of the things that you can do. Right now, we have a foreclosure moratorium going on in California, or not a foreclosure moratorium, an eviction moratorium, and it ends February 28th. One of the things that you can do is locate landlords who are in distress, and you can work with your title reps on that. Work with landlords who are in distress and provide them value about what they can do and connect them to an attorney who does evictions, because evictions will start taking place again on March 1st. This is something that you want to do. So then that way you're able to build up your business and provide value. That's just one thing you can do. Facebook, we talked about. Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, that's where I literally unleash on politics, and you will find out exactly where my political beliefs stand. And whether you like them or not, I really don't care. And then your geographic farms, if you guys choose to do that. Gary Keller talks about when you start to do a geographic farm, he talks about working your street, right? Just your street from, like, I live on Alabama Street, so it would be University to Lincoln. Then move over from Alabama to Florida Street, and then own that half of that, and then come around and own the other thing until I have the whole block, right? And then I move over and I go one more street up. And then you just keep doing that until you've got your little farm. So some people will say, oh, if for farming to be effective, you've got to do 10,000 right away. No, you can't do that, because you want to lead with revenue. But what if you sent out just like 100 postcards to people up and down your street, right? That's another way that you could get to know people wherever you live. And then within Command, you can target market those people as well. Now, all of these things are going to cost you a little bit of money, but you're going to be fine. I mean, I don't want you to think that this is going to be a super hard thing to do. It's just going to take work, and that's all it's going to take. Your goals for the contact, you're eventually going to want to earn their trust to ask for the business. You're going to want to ask for referrals and provide value and gather information to build and nurture the relationship. So that can mean, like I said, for example, holding a cooking class online. That was probably, and I've done several, that was probably one of the best things that I could have ever done, because I couldn't have client appreciation parties this year. And so one of the things I did was, and I did a dry run with some people here, is I did a cooking class, and it was kind of leading up to it. And I just posted on Facebook and I said, if I decided to teach a cooking class, because if you guys follow me on social media, you know I love to cook, would you guys participate and watch? And I probably got 150 or 200 responses to it. And people were like, yes, we totally would. So then the other thing I had to do is I had to make it budget conscious, because I didn't want people to go spend, buku bucks. I had to make the recipe simple enough so that people would do it. And I needed to make it quick enough so I didn't have to spend like 4 hours on Zoom with them, because I just couldn't do that, right? Like my attention span goes, right? So, so what I decided to do is I put this list out, and we made this very easy pasta. We made 2 dishes, but one of them was a pasta dish. And then everybody was cooking in the background. So I had to set up my computer, my laptop and everything, and my lights and all this stuff in my kitchen. And I had the recipe books. And I mean, like, it looked like my old TV days, but because my kitchen was just filled with all this crap and I had very little room to run around in. But everybody, we were all holding up our dishes. Like, if this is a plate of pasta, we're all holding it up going, oh, what does yours look like? And it got to the point where it was just fantastic. And we were drinking in between all this. So everybody was getting lit making pasta, but they were having a blast. And so you guys can do that. Like, whatever your niche is, if you knit, if you crochet, whatever you want to do it online, and then start engaging people and having conversation with them. They are going to do it. What ended up happening with that is one of my girlfriends that I used to work with years and years and years ago in television, ended up coming, and she said, do you mind if I invite a few other people? I was like, invite whoever you want, add them to the group. And so she did. And I ended up with 17 people on that Zoom call, where I ended up getting their information in my database, because they had such a blast. And so now I'm kind of doing some online cooking classes like that, but they're just very, very simple. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. One of the other things I'm going to do is normally I do a Christmas card photo shoot every year. Well, because of the pandemic, I couldn't do that. I wasn't going to take the risk of getting anybody sick. So I chose that this year I'm going to make it a little bit different. I'm having delivered to my top clients, okay? I'm not delivering them. I'm having them packaged and delivered, a movie kit. So it's going to have popcorn and Cracker Jacks and, big things of candy. And it's going to be delivered in time for a Saturday viewing, right? Of White Christmas on Netflix. So I'm putting together this thing. I put together this thing on social media where I'm creating a movie night for my clients. And we're going to all watch White Christmas together at the same time. And everybody's going to take pictures of them watching it with their families, eating the popcorn and doing all the fun stuff that they're doing. So it's something different. You have to think outside of the box, right? You can't just let the pandemic stop you. So just whatever, and it can legit, guys, be anything. This does not have to like limit you whatsoever, right? We've had to take our open houses virtual. You guys can do the exact same thing with anything because everybody's got a talent. Everyone's got a talent, right? Do you guys have any questions?
How many Facebook pages do you have? Like, do you have one personal and then you have one business, or you just control your target audience through?
I have a personal and I have a business.
Okay, thank you.
So do you guys get that there's a multitude of ways to get business? Yeah, cool.
Enjoyed your chat.
Oh, well, thank you. It's almost over. The other thing that you're going to want to do is in Command, you have the, once you get, okay, so let's go back here for a quick second. This is why you want their information. So right here, I want you guys to keep this in mind. You want to get their name, address, email, phone numbers, social media accounts. Marital status is important, so you're not like sending different pieces of information to them. Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Do they own or rent? And the length of time in their current home. These are all things that you want to know. Now, some people will tell you to send, what you call it? They want to know the anniversary that their clients got married, so you can send them anniversary gifts. That's probably one thing I would never do because that's just very personal, but I would send them a gift on the anniversary of their home, right? So if you've got any clients, you could do that. I've sent my clients brownies and cakes, congratulating them on, another year in their home. So these are the types of things that you want to do to stay top of mind. You want to be unique, right? The other thing that I do, going back to this list of all these people that I've helped purchase homes, every time someone sends me a referral, I personally get on brownies.com and I send them a thank you gift of brownies. And I think the cheapest one they've got is like $25. And then I think it's like $7 for shipping. And so I send them brownies to say thank you. Thank you for thinking of me and that I'll take care of your clients. And then I always update them throughout the process as well. So you've got to think of ways to stay on top of them. And then the cool thing about adding social media links to Command is Command has smart intelligence that will alert you if it thinks that your clients are going to make some sort of move in the near future. So you just want to keep that in mind as well. On page 25, you want to classify your database using these types of tags. So in Command, you can tag people. So I have different tags for everybody. So that list of like A and W, B and E, I have those. So everybody gets one of those tags. Then it is, where did I find you? So you could be a past client. So you'll get a past client tag, but you'll also get a sphere of influence tag, right? So you'll get an SOI tag. And the reason I want to do that is because I may only want to send my past clients a specific piece of information, right? Versus my sphere of influence, because it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to invite my sphere to a client party when I'm only inviting my clients to a client party. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure everyone's separated, just like you want to make sure that they're separated by seller, buyer, or both, buyer and seller, renter, investor, vendor, allied resource, whatever. You want to break all those people up. So that way you're sending those specific messaging to those specific people. And you want to create those groups. Where did you find those people? The other thing is, right now we can't do open houses per se, but you can do virtual open houses. So The big thing that I want you guys to get out of this with all your social media and all your contacts is I want you to think of yourself as a mini media company. I want you to create this brand, right? And that's what I should do. I'm going to teach a class, how to create a media company.
You and Martha.
Huh? Me and Martha?
Yeah. Martha Stewart.
Stewart? Oh, I've interviewed Martha Stewart before. She's fun. I had a lot of mad respect for her when she came out of prison and she was wearing that big old gray poncho.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're constantly staying in front of people, right? And so I'll work on that. And then you want to qualify them. When do you need to be in your new home? What is your time frame to sell? Where are you going and when do you need to be there? If you guys take Steven's script class, you know the answer to many, many, many of these questions. So do any of you have any questions so far? Because we're going to wrap up shortly.
We'll just be waiting for you and that marketing class you want to teach. Seems like it's very important.
Yeah, I'll work on it. But so let me see, what else did I want to cover with you guys before we left? Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, in the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I'm hoping that most of you have read it. And if you haven't, it's an extremely incredible resource. In the MREA, they talk about two things. They talk about the 8x8 and they talk about the 33 touch. Right now, it's called the, I know I said 36. Oh, it's 36 to connect. I think it's a 12 direct and 36 to connect. They've kind of gotten rid of the 8x8. So it's really 12 touches over 12 weeks and then 36 touches throughout the rest of the year. And they can be anything. So they can be visits, phone calls, items of value. You can't really drop anything off right now, but you can send them. Handwritten notes, we've talked about that. I would highly recommend that each and every one of you get on Amazon and just get packages of Thanksgiving cards. I don't send out Christmas cards. I send out Thanksgiving and I send out New Year's. And the reason I do that is because nobody is expecting a Thanksgiving card because nobody does them. And I never do Christmas cards because you will get lost in the shuffle of all the cards that come. I do New Year's cards because you can send your New Year's card anytime in the month of January and it will get to your clients. And so I always send them about the second or third week of January. And then that way you don't have to stress about getting them done in January. Although I've got them sitting right here, they'll be done long before that. So I think right now, your big focus should be on getting Thanksgiving cards because you're just a couple of weeks away and start sending those out. Because if you did 10 a day between now and like 3 days before Thanksgiving, because we're at what, the 3rd right now and Thanksgiving's on the 26th. If you did that for 20 days, if you did 10 cards for 20 days, that would be what, 200 cards? My guess is you could probably pull 2 pieces of business out of that in the next 20 days. And would that be worth it to you? You just have to ask yourself that. You also have to buy your stamps in bulk. So I suggest you get on USPS.com and buy really cool stamps. I've got, by the way, I always buy cool stamps because people will open them and make sure you handwrite everything. Do not stick stickers on them, okay? Do not do that. And then you want to do, you know, it says the 4 holiday cards, observance cards, all this stuff. You just want to make sure that you do whatever this says right here, just do it because I do all of these, right? And the 3 phone calls right here, this is throughout the entire year, except I make 4 phone calls because that list that I showed you, that will force you to call your contacts 4 times every single year. So you don't have to worry about thinking about it. It'll just pop up. Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Sorry, this might seem like a dumb question, but use the office address for the return address on anything that we mail out?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I just use the office address. I don't use my home address ever. Not that I don't care where my clients live, but I just don't use my home address at all on anything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, was that you said that the four phone calls thing was at the Smart Plan and Command that you're talking about?
If you go to Command, hold on. If you go to Command, what it's going to do wait. Smart Plans. Okay. So if you go over here, like this one happens to be my, let's go to the library. So let's go to 8x8 new contact. You can add these to your smart plans, but you're going to drop a client in there. The first one's going to be an automated text message that goes out. Then you're going to have a 7-day delay. Then you're going to have some sort of touch task, right? Like a let's grab coffee, let's do a virtual coffee, let's do something. You're going to have 7 days where you're going to take a break, and then you're going to do a phone call, and you're going to call them as part of the plan and do whatever. Then you're going to have another delay. Then you're going to send them a text message. And this is just an example. Hey, just wanted to check in. How's your day going? Any real estate needs I can help you with? Boom. Then you're going to take another delay. Then you're going to add them to another smart plan. Then you're going to take a delay. Then you're going to add a phone call, then a delay. And you're just going to keep going through this. And then some of these repeat, some of them don't. This quarterly call plan, you can just add them to it, and it's going to be phone call, 90-day delay, and it's going to repeat unlimited times. So this one is just going to drop you in. Then once you go to your contacts, like this is what I have to do today. So you will see I've been on vacation for 5 days now. So I think I've got 54 overdue tasks. Well, it's not coming up, but I'm pretty sure. I think I have 54 overdue tasks, but then you can see this one, call for social distance drinks. So I have to do that. So I'll have socially distanced drinks with this person. Then this is Facebook follow-up with Ashley Grover. And then, I'll just go into Ashley's Facebook page and do that. See, all my calls are coming in. I was supposed to make them on 11/1, but I was gone. So these are all the people I've got to catch up on my quarterly calls right here. And these are all past clients. So you just have to call. And the way I call them is I not only, I not only can go to Facebook and just like Jamie, like she's one of my contacts. I would go to my client Jamie's Facebook page, see what's going on, just check in with her and go, oh, I just saw you repainting the house. Oh my God, it looks so amazing, blah, 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 whatever, and just kind of go down a rabbit hole that way. So it doesn't have to be difficult, right? Your conversations are always going to go into real estate, so you don't have to worry about that. You guys have any questions?
Would you ever feel comfortable with us maybe listening to a call?
I do them. I mostly work at home, so I'm not going to, I just happen to be in the office today. I mostly work from home. I don't work. Yeah. It's cool. Just, you know how to talk to people.
Yeah, thank you.
You seem like you'd probably be a good singer too. So I'm fairly confident that you would do well.
I appreciate that. Thank you though.
Anyone else? All right, guys. Well, I want to apologize for the rocky start. I was given the wrong link. I was given the wrong code. I was not given the right paperwork. But if you guys have any questions, definitely reach out to me. This Ultimate Memory Jogger. If you just go to networkmarketingpro.com, that's where I found it. There's a book that I will recommend to you that is really, really good. Michael Mayer, he talks about this Ultimate Memory Jogger as well. But his book is called The 7 Levels of Communication. It's a fantastic book. And I would highly, highly recommend that you guys pick that up. And that way that's one of the reasons I started really working with my database. So that would be another fantastic book for you guys to grab. And then just really dive deep into Command Your Conversion on Facebook, because that's going to help you set up your social or your smart plans and how to reach out to your clients, how to post Facebook ads to get new clients into your database that you can reach out to. There's just tons of ways of doing things. There's another really, really, really good book. This one is called Perk Your Sphere. It's by a woman named Liz Johnson. She works, she's a KW agent, a mega agent in Washington, and she does over $1 million in GCI every year. And she just works by referral only. So that's her shtick. If you end up following her on social media, she is very conservative. So she's like me. She just doesn't care about politics on Facebook, but I'm the opposite direction of her. So you just have to be warned, you know. But we have a respect for each other, so it's cool. But I would highly recommend her book as well. All right.
Chris, I have a quick question for you about the referral. What is like a simple pitch about the referral, and like what they have to know they're getting in referral?
I don't understand your question.
So when they do referral, somebody do the referral, what they get, is that like a percentage of the sale, or is it fixed amount?
Are you talking about if another agent sends you a referral?
Can be another person. Like
No.
who? No.
No, you don't pay referral fees to anybody. You never pay referral fees. The only time that you pay a referral fee is if another agent sends you a referral from another city, then you pay them a referral fee. You never pay your mom for sending you a referral. You don't pay your sister for sending you a referral. That's not, no. This is
what
not.
Another agent gets, like, is that a percentage of the sale?
25.
25%. Other agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. You all have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.